How is everybody? Everybody doing all right? All right. Teddy, you sit right there. And it's sunny out today, so I had to put my glasses on, my sunglasses. All right. Are you ready to read another story? Okay. I gotta get my blankie out. Hi, cha 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 cha. Hi. Do you have a favorite blankie? This one is nice and warm. My mommy made it for me. Little teddy bears. All right, today's story is hilarious, just like the Wonky Donkey. This has to do with Walter. Can you say Walter? Walter, the farting, the farting dog. Do you have pets? I have Sophie. You might have a cat, or how about goldfish? Fish are fun pets. But this is about Walter. I just can't imagine what Walter is doing. I mean, oh well, but let's find out. You ready? Okay, I gotta get my reading glasses on. Walter, the farting dog. And here we go. Oh no! He's in the doghouse. Walter, the farting dog. And this is by Audrey Coleman. All right, here we go. Sophie, are you listening? She's over there in her chair. All right. Betty and Billy brought Walter home from the dog pound. Nobody wanted him, said Billy, but we love him, said Betty. Well, he smells awful, said their mother. I think you better give him a bath. Look, there's Billy and Betty and Walter. And there's a cat. Oh my.
Open it up more, because there you go.
Yeah. All right. Mother walked in and said, he still smells awful. And that's when they got the first clue. The telltale bubbles in the water. He's probably just a little nervous, said Mother. Hopefully his stomach must be upset. But Walter's stomach wasn't upset. Walter's stomach was fine. He felt perfectly normal. He just farted a lot. And there's Walter, and he's getting a scrubby bath. Do you like taking a bath? I take baths. I like bubble baths and scrubby baths. I get my toys and all of that. Well, let's find out about Walter. He did it when he bathed. He did it when he played with Betty and Billy. He did it when he walked around the house. Oh my goodness. He did it in the dining room. He did it in the kitchen. And he did it, he did it in his sleep. Oh my. That must be Father. And there's Billy and Walter. That dog farts morning, noon, and night, said Father. He can't help it, Daddy, said Betty and Billy. They didn't mind Walter's farts, so what if he farts? Billy said to Betty when they were alone in their room with Walter. Betty agreed. Walter agreed too. He sat there looking innocently around. farting. Take him to the vet, said Father. Farting, said the vet, or rectal flatulence, as we say in the medical profession, and prescribed a diet, a change in diet. And there's Walter at the vet. Do you take your pets to the vet when they get sick? I take Sophie to the vet. She doesn't like it, but you have to keep them healthy and safe. All right. Oh my goodness, what is Walter doing? They gave Walter every kind of dog food. He farted. They tried him on cat food. They gave him hot dogs, hamburgers, and lettuce and tomato sandwiches. They gave him fried chicken. They gave him rabbit food. They made him a vegetarian. What? No matter what that dog eats, he turns it into farts, roared Father. Oh my goodness, look at Walter. He's just happy wagging his tail. Walter got the blame for everybody else's farts too. If Uncle Irv let one slip, he just went and stood near Walter. Oh, then all he had to say was, Walter. And everyone would look at poor Walter. Aw, poor Walter. Getting blamed. We blame Sophie. He has to go back to the pound, said Father. No, Daddy, please, begged Betty and Billy. Don't send Walter away. He goes tomorrow, said Father. They pleaded. Walter farted. It was all over that night. Betty and Billy cried in their beds, and Walter looked at them unhappily. Oh, Walter, said Betty, you've got to stop farting, because Father is going to send you back to the pound tomorrow, said Billy. Aww. Poor Billy and Betty and Walter. Well, let's see what we've got here. Fart-free biscuit. That's interesting. Walter knew how serious the situation was. He'd never see Betty and Billy again. He resolved to hold in his farts forever. When Betty and Billy fell asleep, he walked down to the kitchen to see if there was anything around to eat. He managed to open the cupboard door with his nose and found the 25-pound bag of low-fart dog biscuits the vet had prescribed for him, which had made him fart more. Even though he knew they made him fart more, he couldn't resist. He ate them. He ate the entire bag. Very tasty, said Walter to himself. And then he went and lay down on the sofa. A gigantic gas bubble began to build up inside him. Oh no! This is going to be trouble, he said to himself nervously. He was afraid of what might happen if he let it go. He thought maybe the house would explode, so he kept it in. It wasn't easy. In fact, it was torture. but he resolved never to fart again. His future depended on it. As he lay there with his tail wrapped tightly between his legs, he heard a noise at the window. And there's Walter in his bed, trying to sleep. Oh no! He watched it slowly open. A pair of burglars came through. They dropped silently into the kitchen. "Watch out for the dog," said one of the burglars. "He won't bite," said the other. Walter might have bitten them, except he was so filled with gas he couldn't move. They tried a rag around his snout so he couldn't bark. "Okay," whispered the first burglar. "Let's clear this place out." They took everything they could get their hands on. Walter wanted to stop them, but he was having unbearable gas pains. He rolled on his back and waved his paws in the air. He gnashed his teeth. "We've got it all," said the second burglar. "Let's go." Oh no, poor Walter. Let's see what happens. That's when Walter let it fly. It was the worst fart of his life. It made a tremendous noise and shot him across the room. A hideous cloud filled the air. The burglars clutched their throats, unable to breathe. With tears in their eyes, they raced for the window. They tried to grab their bags with all the valuables in it, but their arms were too weak. "Let's get out of here!" Oh my goodness. They jumped out the window, ran up the block, choking and gasping for air. Still blinded by Walter's attack, they stepped into the headlights of an approaching police car. "Hold it right there," said the policeman. Well, come on, pages. There's Father and Mother and Walter. When Father and Mother came down in the morning, they found the open window and they saw the bags with their valuables in it, and Walter was sitting beside it. He still had the rag tied around his snout. You'd have to say they looked... Let me get this. You'd have to say he looked heroic. "He saved the silverware," cried Mother. "He saved the VCR," cried Father. "Good dog, Walter. You're our dog even if you fart all the time." And so the family learned to live with Walter, the hero dog. And that's the end of our tale. Yay for Walter! That was the story about Walter and the farting dog. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks. Bye, everybody. Until next time. Woof, woof. And don't forget, hee-haw!